Testing 1, 2, 3. Welcome to the Osaka Bound for Subangjaya podcast. With here today, our first podcast, we have me, Daniel Sadon, and also,
Maki.
so our first topic of the day is Covid-19 and how it had affected us in our lives. Let's start with Maki.
Start with me. How affected our life is first we had to cancel our trip to Japan, and we don't have any plan to go back to Japan. So we really miss my mom and my grandmom and my family in Japan, and as well as my friend. So that's very big effect.
Yeah, it's the same for me too. I feel the number one thing that really changed for me. It's not really changed. It's more like I really miss your mom, your grandmom, and it's been a while since we saw Chisaki too. So based on photos, she seems like really big, right? Yeah. So yeah, you're right, Maki. We had to cancel our flight. Good thing AirAsia they allow us to put the money back into our account. But I don't know when's the next we'll be able to get the next flight.
Yes, we are not sure when we can go back to Japan.
It's not the Japanese border that's closed. From my understanding, I'm not sure about the Japanese border. I know for me as a Malaysian, the border for me to get out of the country is closed. I'm not allowed to get out. The latest news is that the current movement control order is up to 31st August. So there's potential that 1st of September there'll be open border. What do you think?
I think for you, after MCO is over, you are allowed to go back to Japan. I'm not sure. But for me, actually, I can go back to Japan now. But after even I go back to Japan, I need to quarantine for 2 weeks. So it's no point that I go back to Japan now. And when I enter Malaysia, I need to stay at government hotel, and I heard we have to pay 500 ringgit per night for 2 weeks. So that's cost a lot, and the meal is awful.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I heard stories not only from foreigners but locals who had to come back to Malaysia. The photos that they share, the complaints, the food was terrible. It's just embarrassing actually.
Yes, I saw the photos. Expats stayed in government hotel and they took picture. That food was terrible. I don't want to eat. I cannot eat for 2 weeks, and I heard they are not allowed to order Grab food or delivery. So no choice.
I've heard a lot about Malaysian quarantine. How about Japan? I never made any research, but if you go back to Japan, do you have to quarantine in government hospital or government hotel?
What I know is no need to quarantine at government facility, but need to self quarantine for 2 weeks. But some people don't follow the rule and just go out and spread coronavirus. People who came back from overseas. That's why I think situation is getting worse now.
You mean in Japan they don't have like the armrest? So quarantine here in Malaysia, if you come back, if you're under quarantine, you'll be put an armrest ban. If you take it off be less than 14 days, you can get summoned, or you can get fined, or if you were caught going out of home, you can get fined. Actually, now there's a lot of people being fined because of that. In Japan, there's none. There's just trust system that you just go home and do it.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how Japan managed to uh, follow up the people from overseas. Not sure.
And that's quite dangerous, yeah?
Because if government don't follow up, the people can go free, right? Freely.
There's nothing to be afraid of.
So, but I'm not sure. Maybe have wristband. I don't know.
One thing that is just part of the border. The thing that really changes us in our daily lives is actually in how we buy our groceries and how we go to buildings, to hospitals, to shops, shopping. That's really big difference because now we have to scan and we have to have social distancing. I personally I've been trying to follow the rules, and I'm care about how far I am to the next person. But I've been quite annoyed with the Malaysian community. They really don't care. They just stand side by side. Sometimes I just look them in the face, but they just don't understand.
Yes, I think I'm thinking the same. Some people don't wear mask properly. They cover their mouth but don't cover their nose. So that's no point. Then some people even don't wear mask at all. When no social distance.
What's weird for me is that people who have face masks, like, they have to open their mask to talk. Like, there's no risk. It's not hard at all. I get really annoyed. Yesterday when we were in Tesco, like, I saw a few. They're not kids. They're like 20s, maybe 20s, early 30s, maybe. They have their mask down, walking. Like, what's the point? You're not eating. You're not drinking. We're guilty of that. Yeah, we walk and eat. So maybe, yeah. All right, that's it for us. Our first podcast. We'll try to do this once in a while if we get tired of making videos. Any last words, Maki?
I hope Corona will be over soon.
Yeah, me too. I really want to go meet your mom and grandmom. I miss them so much.
That's all for me.
All right.
From me.
All right. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Take care.
Bye
See you next
bye.
week.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.